Hey, this is Donnie with the Leadership Seminar, and I have Emerson here. You'll hear him contributing. I'm going to go over our agenda briefly. So I'll be coordinating the seminar in the fall, and Aman will be coordinating in the spring. We're going to keep our meetings short, so we tend to do a 1 hour meeting, 30 minutes for presentations. We're going to move the presentation part to asynchronous, and we can give each other feedback in written form. And then, if there are any things that we want to close the loop on, we can use the other 30 minutes, which will be synchronous. So we had two things we wanted to focus on from towards the end of the spring when we were talking about the next year. One was writing. We have a lot of folks that are getting much closer to the job market. And then also how do we clarify our sense of purpose and calling and support each other to stay connected to that. So a couple ideas that I had, I think we should streamline our commitments. We've started a lot of teaching opportunities as a group. So we started a hybrid retreat positive psych course, and that went really well in the summer. Vanessa took the lead on that. So we'll keep doing that next year. Carlene and I really like that, so we're going to continue that. The doctoral preparation track has been a success, and so I think Aman may want to transition that or at least have a co-leader with that, so we're going to keep that going. But other than those two things, everything else we're going to kind of drop unless someone else has a really strong desire to get teaching experience. So, there are a few other things that we've done, but we're going to kind of streamline those. Number 3, I want to be more intentional about how we're using our individual meetings, especially given how much of our time we're spending on Zoom and online. So I'll talk to people about some of my ideas there. I've got kind of a 1 or 2 pager. So in our first meeting, we can kind of talk about how we want to use that time. But I think that's an important aspect of the plan. And I think that's both for writing and for some of the conversations we had about purpose and calling. And then number 4, I've got quite a bit of writing I'm planning to do this year. The last time I had a similar list was a year or 2 before I went up for tenure. So Stacy and Vanessa and Elise probably remember that. I had a research leave in the fall one year and got 5 JCPs published in 1 JPSP paper. I doubt I'll ever have a similar semester. But I do have a list that I'm really wanting to prioritize, and I've started to kind of offload some of my, or kind of streamline some of my teaching and service commitments so that I can attend to those goals. And then a few odds and ends. I have $10,000 to update our Humility Science website. So if anyone's interested in that, I've got a little money, probably $1,000 that I could pay a GRA, and I could just have a master's student do that. But if anybody has an interest in that, there's an opportunity there. Just talk to me. And we're not going to do any kind of required assignments, additional assignments for the seminar. Kind of fits the streamlining commitments. But Josh and Daryl and I are going to be doing, it's not quite a podcast. It'll be more for internal use at this point, but we're going to create a YouTube channel and have various conversations about research topics. We've been creating resources. Like Josh has a pretty detailed book on how to write a paper that's really useful. And then we have some different conversations that would be good to have with your mentor that you could use if you were mentoring someone related to the transition into a doctoral program. And so that's one of the things we're kind of using COVID as an excuse to learn audio editing skills and kind of a different way of getting materials out to people and kind of archiving training resources. And then The other thing is we do have some resources. If you needed help running a study, we've probably got about $4,000 or $5,000 in a Mechanical Turk account, and we did some gratitude interventions where I kind of stored some money in Ken Stress Center. And so if someone wanted to do some advanced statistical training, Stacy did one on multi-level modeling at one point, and also Elise and Michael did one on SEM. So there might be opportunities to do additional training related to statistics. That kind of fits under our goal of focusing on writing that we talked about towards the end of the spring. So again, if anyone has interest in something like that, just talk to me and we can figure out a plan. Okay. Looking forward to talking with y'all later on today.